And what did Kevin Gates mean when he said that the older you is, the more worn out, the more tired?
2025 has been a pretty interesting year for Kevin Gates. Earlier this year, he was in some sort of marriage with Britney Renner that was illegal. And then she divorced him, allegedly. And then his real legal wife, Drea Gates, divorced him also. But that didn't discourage Kevin Gates from getting into a new relationship with a woman 13 years younger than him. And that woman is named Galeni Tejada. Now, to be fair, Kevin Gates definitely has a type. He likes the light-skinned to, mixed race looking women. And she is no different than what we've seen before. But the difference is that this woman looks very young and compared to, Britney Renner or even Drea Gates. And so they have been doing some content together online.
When you make a woman feel safe, like all the way from my physically, mentally, you become her daddy. Dada.
Papi.
I got you. Hey, hold on. You don't open no door. I'm gonna open the door for you. I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm gonna make sure you straight. I'm gonna pull your chair, push it back in. Yes, Lord. And when you applying that, real priggity, I'm talking about applying that real pressure. I'm talking about with that plugger, not that plugger seat or that plugger. Yeah, man. Dada. She look like she 19. That means she gonna look young for a long time. And she ain't gonna do nothing but get fine and tickle. Yeah. All her hips steady spreading because I'm gripping on her.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?
I mean, right now, everything is okay. Right? But then it gets worse.
Man, don't no want no old washed up ass man. What don't want a young man? Huh? You don't like it, eat my man. Straight up. Yeah, man. The fuck? What want something that been, you heard me? Don't nobody go, man, have emotion. We ain't going to the used car line, man. What the fuck? But see, that don't be nothing but that washed up shit on it, like, man, hey, yeah, damn near, yeah, good enough to be your daddy, yeah, of course. Yeah, nigga, yeah, the fuck got more sense than, hey, got sense enough to know how to listen.
This particular rant by Kevin Gates got everybody in their feelings. And he didn't stop there.
The world want to see me miserable, you heard me? Y'all want to see me with Rasputia. That's what y'all want to see. Y'all want me to be Norbit. You know what y'all... Hey, Norbit, we say the best for you. Turkey ass. Man, I just be laughing at that shit, 'cause that shit be funny, baby.
Yeah.
Women took to social media with a lot of chagrin.
And then the chick he was saying it to, the young run, please. Because she looked scared. He looked belligerent. And it's just like, why is he even talking? They ran through his ass too.
Now, this lady is like, listen, that young chick needs to run because ultimately Kevin Gates is insane. And then you even had some men that had a lot to say about it.
Overall, that's just disrespectful to older women, because there are some older women who are way hotter than these tenderonis even have the capacity to achieve. I'm talking late 30s, 40s, 50s even. You would be amazed.
Now, I kind of want to deal with this argument because I do agree with the brother saying about women who are not necessarily young. You have women who are 30, 40, 50, or even in their 60s. They could look better than a woman that's younger. And I think that when Kevin Gates is talking about dealing with a woman who's quote unquote washed up, he doesn't necessarily mean looks. He means a woman that's ran through. And this is a problem that I think that so many women just don't get. Is that, yeah, we understand as men that women can be beautiful, just like anybody else, and they can maintain their beauty over a long period of time. But being ran through is not just sexually ran through, but for many men, mentally ran through. Like not being able to understand instructions, not willing to sacrifice for the man. All of these bad habits that a lot of guys talk about is associated with somebody being a little bit older, because as you know what the old saying is, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Woo! Now, this is not me calling men or women dogs or animals. It is just kind of what it is, right? You have some men out there who want to be able to have a woman that is open to their instruction, and that might be less likely if a woman is older. And this has always sort of been this way. And then you have people who are actually agreeing with Kevin Gates.
I see a lot of women are all worked up about this Kevin Gates situation. Kevin Gates basically said that no one wants an older woman now that he has a younger woman. And I see a lot of anger. I see a lot of people saying, I don't like him no more. Why though? That's his preference. See, it's okay for you guys to have a preference of a 7'9" man who's a trillionaire with a 19-inch eggplant. But Kevin Gates can't want a younger woman who's fertile, who can have children for him, who he's attracted to. She's an adult.
Now let's talk about this whole idea of Kevin Gates having a preference. Now again, women have their preference all the time. They can say if a man is broke, if a man is dusty, if he don't have this or that, the world will not be open to him, and we understand it. Now the real issue is that Kevin Gates has a preference, and the problem that women have is that, listen, he's 39, but at the same time, women find him to be attractive. You know, he has some opportunities. So you have a guy like Kevin Gates saying, listen, I don't want you washed up chicks, and, you know, I don't want them and I don't need them. And so you have a problem with it. And this is something that a lot of men are talking about right now, that women can say whatever they want, but the men can't say what they desire. And then there's this.
And let's say, for instance, because you guys are going to say this in the comments, she don't really like that old man. Do you think men really care? We could care less. As long as she is respectful, as long as she is kind and peaceful, and she toots them cheeks up, we good. You think men don't know when women don't like us? We know. We don't care. It doesn't change anything about getting the cheeks, okay?
This was also a good point of contention where, you know, some women were saying, listen, these women don't want you. You're just old and all they want is your money. Well, the reality is that a lot of men understand that. And as long as you're okay, you're respectable, long as we get in the cheeks, that's kind of what happens, right? And men kind of inherently understand this. But then I wanted to focus my attention on Kevin Gates in particular, because I understand that men want to deal with women who are younger. And I mean, it happens even in my case, but I gotta be honest, there is something wrong with Kevin Gates.
Kevin Gates, to me, is a true narcissist and a warlock. If you spiritual and you understand, you know what I mean. A lot of people don't understand that narcissistic personality disorder is really just a demonic possession. Most of the people who have narcissistic personality disorders are just, they have demonic energy. It's something evil and sadistic about them. That's why they do the things that they do.
Guys, I'm just gonna be real. And usually I take the man's side, but I'm just thinking about Kevin Gates and what I've seen. And Kevin Gates is a narcissist, a liar, and a control freak. And yes, I can't believe I'm even saying this myself. But if you can see how he loves bombs these women, he does the same thing with Drea, Britney Renner. All of them kind of fall underneath his little spell. And we all know that within 6 to 7 months or a year, he does the same exact thing with another female. And the real reason why I believe he's doing it with this lady is because Kevin Gates is going younger. Now, I'm not saying that every man who wants a younger woman wants to control the woman completely. I'm not saying that, right? I just think that men in general, you know, definitely like dealing with somebody that's younger if they can get it because of childbearing reasons, and just that's how it works. But in the case of Kevin Gates, he wants this woman to be younger simply because Kevin Gates is just completely diabolical. He does this to every woman that he is with. He controls their mentality, their religion, and just anything because he's that kind of guy. And the problem that this woman has is she believes that she's more important than the rest of the chicks that he had. All she had to do is look at Britney Renner and look at his wife, Drea Gates, or ex-wife, and she would have found what kind of manipulative person that this guy is. And again, what he's doing is disrespecting older women on her behalf. He even referred to her as a young hoe.
Woo!
And she didn't even respond to that. And again, talking about, he was going to teach her something. He had things to show to her. He got the game from his mom to, basically treat women. I mean, if that's game, bruh, that is a manipulation type game. And to be fair, Kevin Gates is a piece of shit person. He's really a trash guy. And unfortunately, you got guys like Kevin Gates who will deal with younger chicks and, just to control women and get the best out of them just so that they can use them. And unfortunately, guess what happens? Those women end up being, as he said, old and washed up. And these are the women that go back into the dating market. And then when normal black men, want to talk to them, they become so destroyed. They become so trashed. And, guys got to deal with it. And one of the reasons why this happens is because, a lot of young women are not really interested in stable guys. They want this, high energy lifestyle, dealing with somebody who's a fast talker, dealing with somebody who is, has this mythical ideology, or he's like a person presenting all of this framework. He's kind of like a pastor kind of guy, teacher kind of guy. And that's clearly what Kevin Gates presents himself to be. He has all the answers. The woman does not have those answers. And she's just, enamored to be around him. And that's kind of how Britney Renner was at first and these other chicks, until you find out that the guy is a loser and he's no good. The reality is this: if he didn't like older women, then he didn't have to say anything about older women. It's a lot of guys who don't like older women or younger women or black women or white women, and they just kind of stick with their preference because they can. Coming after older women for just, in my honest opinion, to be no reason, it was stupid. You already have the woman already. She already likes you. There is no real reason for you to even insult older women at all. It was completely uncalled for. And that's the problem that I have with Kevin Gates, because in the way that he did it was uncalled for. Especially when just last year you had Britney Renner and you had Drea Gates, and you're taking shots at them even though you're not mentioning their names, because Britney Renner was like 35 and Drea Gates is in her 30s. So all of a sudden, those women that you used to love, they're washed up, and this new chick is not washed up. So what's the difference? I mean, both of those women, followed suit as to what you wanted. And the only reason why they stopped following you is because as a man, you just didn't produce on what you were promising. And that's your fault. And so now you want to go younger, where you have more leverage over this woman, because one day you're a Muslim, the next day you're a pimp, the next day you're this, the next day you're that. You're inconsistent and you're a narcissist and you own that stuff.
Woo!
So guys, we think it's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.